Hollywood sells danger as entertainment. Explosions, car chases, death-defying leaps. The audience applauds the illusion, but behind the camera's reality often plays out in ways that are far from scripted. Bones break, lives are altered, careers vanish, and in most cases, the public never knows. The truth is hidden beneath layers of legal maneuvering, non-disclosure agreements, and careful public statements. Injuries that should have stopped production are quietly contained. Families are silenced. Careers end without a word. And yet the cameras keep rolling. In this episode, we lift the velvet curtain and reveal what studios hope you will never see the real danger behind some of the most iconic action films ever made. These are the accidents that were minimized, hidden, or erased entirely from the history Hollywood presents to the world. From stunt performers thrown into chaos to stars risking their bodies for a shot to entire productions that almost ended in tragedy, this is the side of filmmaking that audiences rarely glimpse. Tonight, we uncover the hidden price of action cinema, the lives forever changed behind the spectacle. Fact 1, The Expendables 3, when a prop gun became a threat. On the set of The Expendables 3, the promise was authentic action, real stunts, practical effects, and weapons that looked dangerous, but were supposedly safe. Yet during one high-intensity shootout, a prop gun unexpectedly discharged, striking a background actor in the chest. He fell immediately, the set frozen in shock. The initial response wasn't medical, it was managerial. Studio representatives and lawyers arrived swiftly, ensuring that the incident was documented in a way that minimized liability. The actor survived, but the injury was real, and the event was quickly buried under non-disclosure agreements that effectively erased it from production records. Though the finished film celebrated explosive realism, the cost behind that authenticity was hidden, known only to those who were on set and witnessed the moment firsthand. Fact 2, Transformers: Dark of the Moon, a cable that shattered a career. Transformers: Dark of the Moon demanded extreme stunts, massive set pieces, and vehicles launched with precision. But during one sequence, a steel cable snapped unexpectedly, striking a stunt driver inside a vehicle. The impact caused serious spinal injuries, leaving the performer permanently disabled. Paramount acted quickly, but in private. Lawyers arrived to control the narrative and negotiate settlements. Production paused briefly, but the public only received the sanitized version, an accident, nothing more. The stunt performer's future was forever altered while the blockbuster continued to rake in revenue. A high-profile success, but behind the glossy finish was a life reshaped by a single miscalculation. Fact 3, XX, the jump that ended a life. The XX franchise thrived on extreme stunts, and for one sequence, Vin Diesel's stunt double was tasked with a daring motorcycle jump from a bridge. Everything had been meticulously calculated, speed, angle, and landing. But one factor, whether wind, mechanical error, or human misjudgment, went wrong. The stunt performer collided with the bridge structure and died instantly. Production halted for only a short moment before resuming. The studio labeled it an unavoidable accident, and the stuntman's memory was reduced to a subtle credit at the end of the film. While the audience saw daring feats on screen, the reality of the human cost remained hidden, another life sacrificed in silence for the sake of cinematic spectacle. Fact 4, The Dark Knight, a fatal collision during a chase. During the filming of The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan prioritized realism using real vehicles and live stunts. In one ambitious chase sequence, a stunt car miscalculated its trajectory and collided with a camera truck. A special effects technician caught in the path was killed instantly. The crew was stunned, but the response was methodical. Studio representatives and legal teams arrived quickly, managing statements and containing information. The incident was officially classified as a tragic workplace accident with no blame assigned and no charges filed. The film went on to critical acclaim, while the loss of life remained invisible to the public, known only to those who witnessed it firsthand. BN Mu NTITPTCV IFAC 5K Chang. Fact 5 Deadpool 2, a first day that turned fatal. A stunt woman performing her first film doubling job on Deadpool two-faced what should have been a routine motorcycle stunt ride, a bike, and stopped precisely on a mark. But repeated takes and mounting pressure increased the risk. During one attempt, the bike surged forward uncontrollably. She lost control and crashed into a building, dying instantly. Crew members were horrified, but the studio's legal team arrived swiftly, crafting a narrative that shifted responsibility away from production decisions. The official explanation cited the character's lack of helmet as a reason, masking deeper oversight failures. No charges followed. The industry quietly absorbed another life lost in the pursuit of spectacle. Fact 6 Mission Impossible, when realism turned painful. Tom Cruise, known for performing his own stunts, attempted a rooftop leap in Mission Impossible Fallout. Misjudging the distance, he slammed his foot against the edge of a building, snapping his ankle. The sound echoed across the set, but he pulled himself up and completed the shot before receiving aid. Production shut down for weeks, costing millions. Questions circulated internally about whether the stunt was too dangerous, but because Cruise was both star and producer, accountability became a non-issue. The studio later incorporated the actual footage of his injury into promotional material, turning real pain into marketing. Hollywood didn't just tolerate the accident, it leveraged it for spectacle and profit. Fact 7 Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, a stunt gone catastrophic. Daniel Radcliffe's stunt double, a dedicated professional, was performing a wire pull sequence meant to simulate a magical blast. But the trajectory went wrong. He was launched backward, missing the padded landing and colliding with a solid wall. The impact left him paralyzed from the chest down, ending his career and drastically altering his life. Warner Bros. Conducted an internal review, but the incident was kept vague publicly and protected by non-disclosure agreements. A young performer lost his mobility, yet production continued uninterrupted. The franchise thrived while the human cost remained invisible. Fact 8 Troy Achilles' injury becomes reality. Brad Pitt, portraying Achilles, trained relentlessly on the set of Troy. During a high-intensity sequence, his tendon snapped, leaving him unable to continue. The irony was sharp. Achilles, the legendary warrior, was felled by his own Achilles tendon. Production paused only briefly. Insurance and legal teams managed the situation behind closed doors. Public statements downplayed the injury as a minor setback, but on set, everyone knew how close the film had come to losing its lead actor. Even Hollywood gods aren't invincible, and Pitt's career narrowly survived. Fact 9 The Crow, Brandon Lee's fatal accident. Brandon Lee's final performance on The Crow ended tragically when a bullet fragment left in a prop gun was fired during a scene. Lee collapsed bleeding while the crew initially mistook his reaction for acting. Investigations were chaotic and inconclusive, with departments blaming each other and studio pressure discouraging transparency. The death was ruled accidental, no one was held responsible, and the public received only the sanitized version of events. A promising life was cut short, leaving a permanent shadow over the film and a haunting reminder of how quickly tragedy can strike on set. Fact 10 The Hangover part, comic stunt turns deadly. On the set of the Hangover part, a car stunt through Bangkok's narrow streets was designed to look chaotic but harmless. During one, the vehicle struck a corner at the wrong angle, throwing the stunt performer violently into a metal post. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition and slipped into a coma. When he regained consciousness, part of his skull had been removed to relieve pressure, and the injury left permanent cognitive effects. Studio statements labeled it an unexpected mishap, concealing the real severity, while legal teams negotiated a settlement to ensure silence. The movie was a box office hit, but the performer's life was irreversibly changed. Fact 11, Rambo, First Blood part, a hero nearly lost to a helicopter. During a high-risk scene in Rambo First Blood part, Sylvester Stallone was harnessed beneath a helicopter for an aerial shot. The aircraft dipped too low, and the spinning blades came dangerously close to his head. Crew members screamed as the pilot corrected in the nick of time. No formal investigation or public acknowledgement followed. The near-fatal incident became a whispered secret among the crew, known only to those who witnessed Stallone narrowly escape death. Production continued as if nothing had happened, the audience none the wiser. Hollywood prioritized spectacle over the risk, preserving the illusion of a flawless hero. Fact 12, The Maze Runner, Dylan O'Brien's near-fatal stunt. While filming The Maze Runner, the death-cure Dylan O'Brien was performing a complex vehicle stunt. A timing miscalculation sent him crashing into the side of a moving rig, leaving him with multiple fractures and serious neurological injuries. Production halted immediately, but early studio statements minimized the incident. Months of surgeries and rehabilitation followed, and O'Brien feared he might never act again. Behind closed doors, crew members debated whether the stunt had been rushed or unsafe, but no public accountability emerged. The movie went on, but the truth remained hidden behind studio walls, a reminder that even carefully planned stunts can have life-altering consequences. Fact 13, Quantum of Solace, a car stunt that nearly killed. During the filming of Quantum of Solace, a stunt driver maneuvered an Aston Martin down a narrow mountain road near Lake Garda. The road was slick from morning moisture, and at high speed, the smallest error could be catastrophic. The car lost traction, smashed through a barrier, and tumbled down a steep embankment. Crew members rushed to the wreck expecting the worst. The driver survived, but his injuries were severe. MGM released a brief statement calling it an unfortunate accident, downplaying the danger and erasing warnings raised by the stunt team. The film went on to impress audiences while the near tragedy remained hidden. Fact 14, The Avengers, when a wire rig became deadly. On The Avengers, a stunt woman was suspended on wires to simulate being thrown backward by a superhuman force. A pyrotechnic charge meant to enhance the effect detonated far more violently than expected. The blast injured her severely, leaving burns and lacerations. Crew members rushed to assist, but Marvel's representatives quickly shaped the official narrative equipment malfunction. Her identity remained protected, and the incident was largely concealed from the public. Production paused only briefly before continuing. While the film showcased spectacular action, the human cost of that scene remained largely unseen. Fact 15, Now You See Me in Near Drowning Mistaken for Acting. During a water tank escape in Now You See Me, Fisher's release mechanism jammed. Trapped underwater, she struggled for air while the crew watched, believing her flailing to be part of the performance. Seconds stretched into a life-threatening ordeal. With a desperate effort, she freed herself just enough to surface for air. The crew only realized the danger after the fact. In interviews, the incident was described as a close call, but the truth was far more serious. A stunt that could have ended in tragedy if her timing had been a second off. The line between performance and real danger had nearly been crossed. Bonus fact, the accidents Hollywood buried. For every stunt disaster the public hears about, countless others are kept entirely hidden. Injuries that might have ended careers are quietly managed behind closed doors. Minor accidents are rewritten as unexpected events. Dangerous falls are dismissed as miscalculations, and lives are altered forever without acknowledgement. Hollywood moves fast to control these situations. Lawyers arrive before reporters. Safety officers manage the scene discreetly. Settlements are negotiated in secrecy, and non-disclosure agreements ensure that those who experience the accidents cannot speak about them. Careers vanish silently, and the incidents become ghost stories whispered only among stunt professionals. There are sets that are remembered in private for mishaps, never reported explosions that went wrong, cables that snapped, stunts performed without sufficient safety checks. None of these stories reach the audience, who only see the flawless execution and cinematic thrill. The most unsettling truth is that even the accidents the public knows about are just the ones Hollywood failed to completely bury. Hollywood sells excitement, danger, and spectacle, but behind every explosion and daring stunt lies a reality the public rarely sees. Real injuries happened, real careers were shattered, real lives were changed forever. If you believe these hidden stories deserve to be seen, and the people behind them deserve recognition like this video, share your thoughts in the comments and join the conversation. For more secrets and untold stories from Hollywood's shadowed corners, subscribe to Behind the Velvet Curtain. There's still much more they never wanted you to know.